And let's see how fast it cleans compared to Amtech. I'm gonna apply my soldering iron just to make the flux a bit softer. Okay, because that's how you do it in the real world, right? You apply flux, you work on a component, and then after you're done, you grab a cotton swab, apply alcohol, and you clean, right? So it's sticking. Okay, now the board is clean. Let me clean the soldering iron tip. We're gonna go over hours. Same thing like I did with Amtech Flux. Let's try to clean it. Cotton swab. We have alcohol. And look, I'm barely touching the board. We do not have fibers sticking onto the board like what happened with Amtech Flux. The flux, not only is it more effective, but it cleans perfectly. We have to look at the whole picture. Our flux not only... Now the test that I just did comparing Amtech 559 with NF.flux is in no way the best possible way to test flux, but I just wanted to quickly run through the fluxes so I can show you what I mean. A lot of things come to play when you are soldering a component on the board and using either flux, and that's the surface that you are working on, what type of board you are working on, the solder wire, how much heat you are applying, maybe the air temperature, and all those things, they play a factor on how that flux behaves. Somebody can buy a very good tool and praise that tool for being so good, and another person may buy that very same tool and tell you that tool is horrible. The way that person is using the tool may be incorrect, or maybe there are other factors that made his experience bad. So just keep that in mind. The example I showed you is like a neutral, or it's like an organic example where I can show you the difference between NF.flux and Amtech 559. And we're gonna do the same for NF.flux white. And we're gonna compare it with Amtech 213. And then maybe we can compare NF.flux with NF.flux white and tell you the difference. You still do not know the difference between NF.flux white. Since NF.flux does everything, why do you need NF.flux white? Why another variation of the flux? It's all about efficiency and the workflow. If people understand this, they will appreciate.
He's full of shit. It's because he white labels his flux. He just gets flux, he packages it in syringes and sells it with his name on it. He's like, it doesn't matter what the flux looks like. Yeah, because there's nothing special. It's just flux.
The flux more. Now, you know how I told you that NF.flux does not have an odor, does not have a smell compared to Amtech 559? With NF.flux white, you do have a smell. It's like a cardboard smell. I communicated with the lab who formulated the flux, and it's a combination of things that makes that smell, but the smell is not sharp, unlike Amtech 213. Amtech 213, the smell is sharp. Some people like sharp smells. It's like perfumes. Every person is different. But the smell on NF.flux white, I would say it's like a chalk, cardboard. I do not know how to explain it, but you do have the smell, whether you like it or not, but it's a lot lower than Amtech 213. Let me grab Amtech 213. I have it labeled here, Amtech 213. And we have NF.flux white, okay? So before we test NF.flux white and compare it with Amtech 213, what's the reason for making NF.flux white? NF.flux white, it flows more evenly, and it's extremely difficult to make it gooey. It cleans. You see how NF.flux cleans? NF.flux white, it cleans even better, okay? Because it does not gum up. It does not become gooey. No matter how hard I tried, I was not able to make that flux gooey. So what is the downside compared to NF.flux? It's thinner. You may need to apply more flux to keep it effective, unlike NF.flux. You have to understand, you cannot have everything. You cannot have flux that will resist heat at high temperatures and not become gooey, and you cannot have a thin flux that will resist heat and not evaporate. If I'm making sense, maybe I can show you this by example. Talk is easy, but when we do an example, you can see it better. Let me pick an area where we can compare NF.flux and NF.flux white so you can see what I mean. If you have flux that gums up in a crowded area, then it becomes very difficult to remove any gooey stuff from between the components, and you want something that does not gum up between components, especially when you are working in a crowded area, or maybe you are rebolling a chip that has a lot of solder balls under it and you do not want any gooiness under that chip. You want flux to flow evenly across the chip and not gum up, and that's where NF.flux white will do amazing. Maybe we can test with those MOSFETs here. Let's apply NF.flux. And we're gonna apply NF.flux white. Maybe we can do it a little bit further away. And I want you to see the difference in texture between NF.flux white and NF.flux. Both of them are our fluxes. Some of our customers who bought NF.flux, they mentioned sometimes the flux crystallize. The flux is synthetic. Even if the flux crystallizes, as soon as you apply your soldering iron onto it, it goes liquid again. It's the way the flux is formulated, but it does not crystallize and gum up on the board where you cannot remove it. It crystallizes because of the way it's made. It's made in the lab, but that's not a problem. It depends on the temperature in your room. It depends on the board temperature. It depends on how much heat you are using. If it did crystallize, you just apply heat to it and it goes liquid again. Then you can easily clean it. Okay, so crystallizing is not a bad thing. If it crystallizes and it becomes like glue on the board, then that's a problem. Okay?
That's a problem.
So let me go over this. Okay? You can see how flux is still liquid. I already did the job. I mean, it's unpractical to keep going like this for 30 seconds on a component, but we are overdoing it for the purpose of testing. I mean, the flux is fluid. It does not evaporate quick. And I already applied solder onto that chip. If I keep the soldering iron on that flux, it will eventually change color or harden or gum up or evaporate or becomes not effective anymore. That's the property of flux. It doesn't matter how good the flux is. If you torture it with heat, it's gonna give up at some point. But I'm being unrealistic here. And maybe it's gonna start to bubble up because we are overdoing it. So much heat for a long period of time, and the flux is still effective. Let's go over here and do the same. Let me clean the tip, and then we can compare the difference between the white version and the non-white version. Let me first, I think I just used Amtech flux because I could tell from the smell. This is not our NF.white flux. All right, since we already have Amtech 213, I can tell from the smell because Amtech 213 has a sharp smell. Okay, let me continue with the test. This is Amtech 213, and then we're gonna compare ours. Maybe we'll do a 3-in-1 comparison. NF.flux, Amtech 213, and NF.flux white. Now, Amtech 213 is also advertised to clean easier compared to Amtech 559, and we still sell this flux on our site, Amtech 213. But let me compare to our NF.flux white. What chip should I compare it on? Maybe we can stay here in the same location. Let's do it from the bottom. And let's compare all three fluxes. So as soon as I touch the soldering iron, you see how it spreads evenly? That's amazing if you are doing reballing a chip. It spreads under the chip evenly, unlike any other flux, because it's not as gooey. Okay, and it's very hard for this flux to gum up. I do not want to mix it with the top flux. I'm trying to stay on the bottom here. Maybe we can do this, maybe we can do this. I already did the job. Okay. Right? Now when the flux reaches its limitation with heat, and you keep moving your soldering iron back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, then it may start bubbling up. But you already finished the job, right? Cleaning. Like I said, this flux, it's very hard for this flux to gum up. Extremely hard to gum up this flux. It's gonna clean easier than any other flux in the market, even NF flux. Because the flux is formulated, so it does not gum up, it spreads evenly. One thing compared to NF flux is it may be thinner, and that's why it spreads more evenly, because the flux is thinner. When would you use NF flux and when would you use NF flux white? NF flux for any job that you want to do. If you are working in a very tight area, a lot of components, a lot of tiny components, and you do not want flux to gum up between the components. If you are working with BGA, it's shipped with a lot of solder balls. The solder balls are close to each other. They are so tiny, then you would benefit from NF flux white because you will get a more even spread and the flux is not gonna gum up under the chip. What if you use NF flux to reball a chip? Can you do that? Of course, 100%. But like I mentioned, we are talking about efficiency and workflow. NF flux white, it spreads more even and it's very unlikely that it will gum up. Now I kept flux on the board for like a minute or two. Let's see how easy it is to clean that flux. First, I'm gonna test it with this probe, and look at this. It's still liquid, right? And even on top of the chip, look, it's liquid. This is not hard. Now, if I apply my soldering iron onto it, look. Where is Amtech 213? It's this one here, right? And then we have NF flux, so Amtech 213. Let's test with this probe. Unlike NF flux white. Look at what happens. It's still not solid or too gooey. I can easily clean this, but ours is a lot smoother. A lot smoother. A lot went into making this formula where we hit all the high notes on that flux. And we did an amazing job. Look at this. That's NF flux white, Amtech 213. Both of them I should be able to clean both of them easy, but I just want to show you the difference between both. And now if we compare with NF flux is gonna be more gooey, but the thing is, the nice thing about it, unlike any other flux in the market, as soon as I apply heat onto it, it goes liquid. Wow. Try this with Amtech 559 or try this with any other flux. You're not gonna be able to convert that flux to liquid like we do with NF flux. What more do you want? If you have NF flux and you have NF flux white, you have everything that you need. If you want a better workflow for specific tasks, reballing, tight area, crowded area, you will benefit a lot from NF flux white because it will make your life a lot easier. So we went over Amtech 559, Amtech 213, NF flux and NF flux white. I tried to make this test as fair as possible, as real world as possible. I tested the flux so many times before I created this video, and all I can tell you is this flux is wow. Both fluxes are on our website, northridgefix.com. Search for nf.flux, nf.flux white. From now until Monday, or maybe until Tuesday, because I made it a habit. Anytime we introduce a new product, I'm gonna give 20% discount for 4 days. Anybody that wanna buy within those 4 days, you're gonna get 20% discount. When nf.flux was out of stock, and why is the fume extractor on? I don't know. When nf.flux was out of stock, I told you if you back order, I'm gonna give you 20% off. So I give discounts when an item is out of stock on back order, so I can encourage people to buy. They benefit and we benefit. We benefit because they are buying, and they benefit because they got the 20% discount. So you're gonna get a 20% discount if you order from now until 4 days from today. You may be watching this video 1 year from now and it's not gonna apply, but 20% discount. northridgefix.com, click on shop, search for the flux, add to cart, check out, pay, and as you know, we almost always ship out same day. We're gonna end the video right here. Let me know what you think. Leave it down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll do something else in the next video.
Better than factory.
Better than factory. Do something interesting. Do something interesting, huh? Want me to do something interesting? He said, do something interesting. Do something interesting. Bum, 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 bum. Jacob. Come on, Jacob. Where you at? Come on, do something interesting. Jacob Scott 36. Do something interesting. Alright, how about that? How about Scott 36? How about that? You wanna be an OG? Jacob Scott 36. You're an OG now, son. You're OG. You're the OGest. OG. Try that for something interesting. How about that? Do a refresh, buddy. Now you're OG. How's that for interesting? Huh? OG styling with the OG. You're the OGest OG, Jacob Scott 36. How's that for doing something interesting? Huh? Now you're OG. How you like that? How you like that, Jacob Scott 36? How you like that, Jacob Scott 36? Now you're OG. You're the OGest of the OGs. You're not just a mod. You're an OG. Jacob Scott 36. OG and shit. Being all like, yo, I'm an OG, do something interesting. So yeah, you act like an OG, you gonna get OG. Got it? Do something interesting. I'll show you something interesting. Shit. Fucking OG and shit over here. OG. Ba 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 ba. Keep the riffraff down in the chat there, Jacob Scott 36. You know what to do. You know what to do. Jacob Scott 36. He knows what to do. Wild and then flew off. Tell me all that you know. I'll show you. Snow and rain. I feel like this is on. Oh, it is. It's the same one. Same Yule log. Same Yule log as before. We got the shooter.
We got the shooter. We believe we got the shooter. It stands back holding in the bathroom. Put the fucking gun on the ground! Put the fucking gun on the ground!
Mass shooting, mass casualty. I think they said 8 critical, 2 deceased.
Receiving a call from 184 Hope, east end of building. Caller heard about 5 shots and multiple individuals running. So it's time to gather information.
Amber.
83 on the way. 81 going. 10-4, sir. Just want to advise those responding units, we're getting multiple calls all from sort of the same area. Thayer Street, possibly Manning Walk. Also understanding her shots fired. Individuals fleeing, running different directions. No real information. 292.
9-2.
92. We possibly might have a shooting victim at 167 Thayer. 167 Thayer. Callers not providing much information other than stating that he was just shot. Manual walk between Thayer and Brook. One of the units responding to us there, he just drove past the victim. He should be at Science Park.
Science
9-2
Park.
Welcome. With the victim.
10-4-9-2. What's the proper location? Is it going to be Thayer or Hope?
215, I'm with the victim.
Sarge, is that going to be confirmed? I do have a 15 confirmed.
I got 2 victims.
10-4 Science Park, Sarge. One of the units on scene confirmed the location of the shooting victims.
The Thayer Street.
Thank you, man. We started 2 rescues.
From Brown PD looking for a male dressed in all black. For the assailant he's wearing a mask. That's all we have at this point.
Wearing a mask.
All black clothing with black face mask. For erection?
No, negative.
Got an erection?
Caucasian male shooter.
9-2. The suspect is allegedly at room 166 at Barrison Holly. They're across from the library.
Is there a Brown officer on scene with you guys at the Rex buildings?
On it?
Top 10, I'm on scene. Hey, be advised. Yeah, no, it's an info. You may have fled into the building. I'll confirm that location. 215, have the race up there the wrong way.
We are facing a complex situation, but we are united and determined to overcome these challenges together. And let me tell you, Raul BTC has been a game changer for our economic strategy.
Police cars are blocking the proper direction.
Let's bring that up here. 65, pulling up. Where do you need?
I'm on my way to Shield.
Dispatch, be advised. There's multiple officers. I'm going to be entering. I'll get a building number in a second.
215, I got a Shield coming up.
Dispatch, we can get a Brown University off to the Brown Design Workshop, this building. Trying to get an address.
We got victims in this building. Get some rescues over here. Where's the lowest we need to shield?
Keep the air clear. Listen, do we have victims in this building that we're in right now? There are multiple officers in this building. All right, this building that we're in right now contains the Prince Engineering Labs. Dispatch, I don't know exactly what this address is. Barris and Holly. All right, dispatch, be advised. This is an active shooter situation. We have multiple victims in this building.
Fire also stated that they have 6 other victims on the Hope Street side of the Department of Physics building.
All right, dispatch. We're going to have to unify command, make sure rescues are staged in a safe location so we can start exiting people out the back of this building.
We have you at the 167 Thayer Street building.
We're sending victims out towards Hope Street. Has anybody made that room 166?
Yeah, we're at 141.
We're coming out with one shot.
And we're sending multiple victims out the back of the building towards Hope Street.
Have the rescue come to the front door. We got one shot.
See, right now they're clearing buildings.
Dispatch, anybody in the real-time crime side and get us some cameras?
All right, I got it. Dispatch, we need to get a cruiser up to this front door.
Front door of what building?
155 Brook.
155 Brook. Also to 155 Brook.
With them. All right, we're sending all victims. Anybody that's be able to walk, we're sending them out the back towards Hope. Somebody start staging rescues off the back of this building on Hope.
Dispatch, there's multiple victims inside this building. And we already got it. Everything to get them here.
Be advised, everyone made to room 165. More victims, they will be by shelter there.
All right, Tim, we got to continue to make sure the shooter is on this building still. Continue to do a systematic search of this building. Shut down all traffic on Hope. Shut down all traffic on Hope and Brook. In front of the front end of this building, we need to shut traffic down. Has anybody made it to an upper floor in this building yet? Has anybody made it to an upper floor?
Negative LT, we're working our way around that back hallway. It's a horseshoe-style building, first floor. We're behind the auditorium.
44, room 166. Multiple victims.
All right. 166. Are they able to walk out?
Negative.
Let's keep that corridor clear going out to the back door on Hope. All right. Make sure we keep officers in that hallway. Hold on going to the second floor until we have everybody in place. All right. Does anybody have a second floor where they can go up? We're gonna clear this first floor as well. Jones, you at the second floor. Hey, what's up? We got a team off to the second floor now. All right.
44, Brown Hospital CIT building, second floor, suspect.
Repeat building.
Is that the building we're in now, or do we got a second location?
Trying to talk to 115 Waterman, possible suspect, second floor.
Repeat the name of the building.
All right, where's that info coming from, and can we get some officers over there?
15 Waterman, second floor. CIT building from Brown, second floor.
We have somebody. We have a suspect.
Back on the air.
Somebody in the basement. We have somebody in the basement.
All right, so we get every rescue you have. We have multiple victims.
Who's with 92 in the basement?
4 minutes and 17 West Brown and multiple Providence, please. On the second floor.
Who's with 92 in the basement?
Somebody in the maintenance right now. There's a man right here.
Somebody to the basement with 92.
Additional unit with 92 in the basement. Additional unit with 92 in the basement.
Yeah, hold on. Who's with 90?
John, where are you in the basement?
Near the maintenance room.
It's a Mosaic with a lieutenant.
Alright, this is well, upstairs, no.
Well, no suspect, just victim. Receive. Carry on.
Yeah, we have no suspect yet. Any more information on that other location?
Room 165, has it been checked?
Yes, room 165 was checked. Alright, we're conducting a systematic search here for more, for the suspect and or victims. So everybody in this initial building, continue to conduct a systematic search, right? Just be careful, blue on blue. Dispatch, we're gonna have to send other units over to that Waterman. We secure this building.
31, myself and 33 are in 115 Walton on the first floor.
Dispatch, be advised too. You have large scale events going on at different locations in the city, especially the convention center and the AMP.
Receive.
Do we have any officers on the second floor of this building? Dispatch also, any SRU member that's not here yet. I need any SRU member that's not here yet.
Got 2 more people coming out. 31, we have at least 5 people coming out of the 115 Waterman out of the front door.
Dispatch, where are we staging rescue? We're carrying people out.
Waterman at Dale. 6 rescues, Waterman at Dale.
Be advised, we're on hospital, let them know. We're transporting the police vehicle now too. How are we going on the search on the second and third floors of this building?
Jail just got to the west stairway, second floor.
As of right now, in the absence of better information, we're going to go with this. Shooter might still be in this building, so use caution, alright?
Everyone, there's 4 more people coming out of the front of 115 Waterman.
Lieutenant Potter, which floor?
On the first, just keep working those teams you had. Keep working the second and third floor so we clear the building. Alright, we're pulling the victims out the back. We're transporting either via patrol car.
McMillan Hall?
So we get rescues to Hope and Waterman. Hope and Waterman. Hope and Waterman need rescues. We haven't locked it down yet. Lock down Waterman. Lock down Hope. But Hope and Waterman, we need rescues. We're in the rescue stage right now.
Waterman and Dale.
Again, Dale and
Waterman. Waterman.
They gave you a proof the rescue to move, so somebody's going to get in touch with Disney. All right. I will secure, you secure Hope and Waterman. Go. Hope and Waterman secure. They can go over there, all right? We're going to carry the victims out that way. So it's a large building, so it's going to take a little while. Any more information on additional shooters coming in? Or additional shootings? All right, if you're already moving to the hospital, go. Jones or somebody, or Harrington on the second or third floor of this building. How are we making out with the search of this building?
Just finished up clearing the right side of this building, the second floor. We're going to move up to the third.
Dispatch, any luck with cameras, either via Crime Center or Brown University, on any of the exits of this building?
Working on that.
Okay, I have personnel down here. You want upstairs? You want us to hold the basement? What do you want us?
Listen, if the basement hasn't been searched yet, all right, I'll send additional officers down. We'll conduct simultaneous searches to make sure we have any more victims that we can get out.
511, I'm with the battalion chief. Any rescue personnel you need, let me know. He will send them automatically. I'm right beside him.
Alright, we secured Hope Road, and that's secure. I sent 2 cops over there, alright? You can send the rescues there. We can carry anybody out, or anybody that can't walk.
See, 2 rescues, Hope and Waterman, correct? Yes.
At least, you guys want to check the basement, or at least one hold here. Hold here. You guys want to...
Well, I got this there in the real-time crime center, and I'm on the way to the scene. I'll link up with Brown PD to start watching video.
Alright, and if a unified command post has been set up with fire, let's confirm where that is right now. I'll stand here. I got 2 troopers going to the basement with rifles to help search the basement. But we got plenty of people in the basement.
Lieutenant, I'm with the battalion chief. Anything he needs, let me know. Who's there?
Alright, very good. An SRU guy to answer up right now, too. One SRU guy to answer up that's not on scene.
LT, you want the drone out there?
Heck, get whatever you can get us. Listen, we're going to send a rescue task force into room 166. Have rescue go to Waterman and Hope. We'll rally up with them there, and we're going to get rescue into room 166. We have victims in there.
You have 2 rescues right now. Waterman and Hope.
Hey, Doc, grabbing. If they have a rescue task force with them, get them into room 166 so they can look at these victims.
I got rescues changing here. You have 1 rescue right now. Waterman and Hope. 6-5 to Gordiana.
Bye, Sergeant. Sergeant Lund.
Respond to that doorway you saw us go into, please.
Hold it.
Dispatcher, any additional calls? I know there was another location that was being thrown out there.
Room 1. Room 165 was cleared. District 3 cars were at 115 and Waterman.
We have no other calls coming in this vicinity.
We have 1 call at 39 Brown Street for an Uber DoorDasher who hit the panic button, trying to reach him.
Hey, we're starting to move rescue in. Hey, if you're searching the building, continue to search. Rescue's going in the back door. They're going to go right to room 166. If you have any additional victims, get us that room, and we'll get rescue to them. Hey, anybody in that initial building? We're in building Barris and Holly, all right? Barris and Holly. You got to come up with your location.
We're moving up to the 3rd floor of that building.
Yep, we're moving up to the 3rd floor west end.
All right, 3rd floor, Barris and Holly is being searched now.
We're on the 3rd now. Just getting in.
You and you are going to be on the west side, 3rd floor.
How are we making out in the basement?
LT, we're below the main street. We're on the far side, back side, behind the auditorium of the building and a stairwell here. There's a couple of long hallways. Some unknowns. We're teaming up now, getting ready to go in.
All right. As of right now, we have no other information as to where this person might be. We're going to consider that this is still active here.
Receive. Any victims we incur, we're going to send them the way we came in, that back hallway. We'll run them up.
Your turn. Any information from any of the victims are now?
Not getting anything right now, no.
Lieutenant, I don't want to interrupt you. What do you want? SWAT guns showing up to me.
Front of the building. We'll rally up here at the front of the building. I need to make one guy off and go get the armored vehicle in case this goes somewhere else. Start it this way.
Courtney Level, I'm on the highway. What building are you at? I don't know any info.
Where's the building in the corner of Aaron Waterman?
Is there a car in the area 82 Fonz Alley, Fonz and Thayer Street for an SP call? A white male in the area smoking a cigarette, acting too calm, says the caller.
Too calm?
La
What the hell?
Where do you know? Take your loser.
We got the shooter. We believe we got the shooter. It stands back hallway in the bathroom. Put the fucking gun on the ground. Put the fucking gun on the ground.
Give him the
Location of that suspect.
Downstairs in the bathroom.
Is that the basement?
No one else talk while the guys are in contact. That's it. No yell.
Come on, custody.
Well, I got the
One
shooter.
custody 68. Go with those 20.
All right. Rescue! Hey, me! How's the rescue come with me? Great, where do you need the rescue? Get him to the building and see who's on the victims. We're trying to get him out of here. Give me a street address. Hey.
Okay, so thank you, Steve, for sending me that audio. So I guess that's the first person maybe they thought was the suspect, because they're saying there was no suspect caught. Who was that they found in the bathroom and pulled their gun out on and everything? That's crazy, man. Who was that? I guess the wrong person.
There was an individual who was preliminarily thought to be involved and was later determined to have no involvement, and that's why we can confirm that at this time there is nobody in custody. The length of that investigation or interrogation of that individual, I don't know. Commander?
No weapons have been recovered.
Do you know what weapon was used?
We just know that it was a firearm. What type of firearm, we're unaware of.
It's AI. Because it's not even a real fucking machine, dude.
$30 and around noon. I love noon. I try not to make any appointments until noon, and this is my appointment. So today, what will we do? I was hoping to look at some more mappage. I kind of want to look around Alaska and Japan. So let's get started. I thank you for being here this week. I love you all. God bless and welcome.
They're facing a complex situation, but we are united and
Okay,
determined
so in
to
my
overcome
last
these
video we
challenges together.
discussed this
And let me tell you,
land
Raul
up here.
BTC has
I
been
could
a
make a
game
video every
changer
week
for our
on this
economic
subject,
strategy.
to be honest. We never touch on everything. We didn't even talk about the black magnetic rock in the middle, the Rupus nigra. And interesting, I mean, today we have this science that tells us there's a magnet up, or it's magnetic. Sure, we're not told there's a black magnetic rock. We're given other reasons, but very interesting. I mean, the land masses would be enough just to discuss the land,
His editing
missing
is bad
islands,
this week.
changing shapes of the islands. So much. Some say this was the tree of life, the original tree, the first tree, giant realm covering tree. And by the time this map is made, it's just a black stump, magnetic. And in fact, if you look at videos of them cutting down certain trees, I think cottonwood in particular, they will flow like a fountain. Flow. I mean, a tree is constantly pumping water. It's a water pump, a sucker and a pumper. When you cut it down, it still flows. And here we have this black rock stump. And in my opinion, this is the flow. Not just in my opinion, but in old legends like the Smoky God. We're told that these rivers flow in and out. And in fact, if we look at the weather, all weather is generated from this point. It dictates the rest of the weather. It's like pumping in and out, like a pulse. Breath in, breath out. And that gives us our weather, but this is the source. This may also be the source of much more. We see the aurora borealis, the northern lights, shooting out of this region as well. Again, we're told whatever we're told, the sun and radiation and blah blah blah. But when coupled with all this other phenomenon in the north, it begins to be much more interesting than the stories we're told in school. But there's much more I want to talk about today, even though I could go on and on. Sorry. The pygmies. The pygmy habitants. God, I'm struggling today. I can't get a good resolution of this one. Let's see. No, it didn't grab it. Well, anyway, pygmy habitation. Pygmy habitants. Now, in my last video, people said pygmies are usually affiliated with Africa. Small people, small unknown people. So now we're dealing with pygmies. Why don't we just talk about pygmies? We talk about Tartaria and other lost people, some in which we don't know their names, most. But here we have the pygmy people. This deserves a whole video, but unfortunately that's not today's video. But I will hypothesize and add to my idea in the last video that we may come from this northern region. This may be the source. This may be the Garden of Eden in actuality or metaphorically. Nonetheless, all this needs to be discussed. But if we did come from the north, and all these castle cities that we see everywhere, including up here in Alaska and super north present day Canada, super north now Swiss cheese parts of Russia, if all these were built out cities, as I believe they were, as the evidence shows, then indeed there's more up here. This is the source. And what of the pygmies? In my opinion, the pygmies were these small people that lived on this island, almost like a savage primitive people, like a pre-eating from the apple people, perhaps like the hobbits in Lord of the Ring. And the people who built all these cities out here, well, they weren't these pygmies. They were a giant people, as we see. All the doors, the size of the buildings, everything doesn't make sense for our people today. And I propose, real quick, that perhaps we are the pygmies. Through an act of musical chairs post-reset, all people were displaced out here. Some must have survived and perhaps populated the realm with these pygmies, a smaller people. And that would be us. That's why we have all the orphanages. This may be the source. That's why our people don't seem to fit into history. When we look at photographic evidence, the people are like children, living in a realm that doesn't seem to be theirs. So let's take a pause. Okay, now some people, of course, in my last video, said this is stupid, this land doesn't exist, and this map maker was a fool. Mercator, still a respected map maker today by all cartographers. We use his image in present day, the Mercator projection. The Mercator projection looks kind of like this. This is some guy named Paulus Marula. Maybe just Paul. Or maybe not. Maybe Meru is Meru. Mount Meru, the center of the realm. Anyway, this Merulian map here we can see, not the same map maker, and he shows this center northern realm above North America as well. Here we see New America Mexicana. We see Castle City, Lake Conibas, way up in the north, with a city in the lake, perhaps on an island in the lake. We see Shilaga, which I've proposed was Chicago before the Great Lakes. Hochelago, Castle City here. Castle, 1606, castled out. Here we see New France. So my point is, this landmass surrounded by artificial, the landmass, and we discuss on this channel the artificiality of all land masses and the ability for past people to shape land. And here we see this ring of mountains, and here we can see this northern depiction. We see Greenland. It looks like Friesland. The missing island is depicted here, and here we can see Iceland, where my ex is, and even some more land. Now, how about the other side? Here's what the other side looks like. Pole Arcticus. Lots of great writing here. This one coming out real nice, but pretty good. Nova Zembla here. Totally different shape. It looks like this whole eastern chunk is now gone, including all the islands, as we discussed in my last video. So much. So much. But my point is, this landmass is here. This other map maker must have also been crazy. Now, how about this map? This is the early world map. Monty's 1587 map. 1587, so earlier than Mercator's map here. And this is pretty good. Pretty good and mind-blowing for 1587. This thing is huge, first of all, like a giant's map. 60 sheets make up this manuscript, and just absolutely mind-blowing. One could study this map, I think, for one's entire lifetime. That's all. One would never run out of things to explore with this map, and the detail coupled with the BS of Christopher Columbus. I mean, look at all of this. I never saw this map in my life until I started doing this research 8 years ago. The map is 10 feet in size, 1587. 10-foot map. And what do we see here? Again, predating Mercator, the same thing, a center realm, clearly depicted. This one perhaps being one of the best. Let's look at it in more detail. Let's zoom in here. So here we can see Greenland having a totally different shape than what they present today. Kind of wrapping around the pole. And this makes more sense, actually. It makes more sense because of the time. I'll show you what I mean about that in a minute. Here we can see Nova Zembla. We see the castle cities everywhere. I mean, we see full establishment in the 1500s. We see cities on Greenland. Norlandia, Alba, Albanaf. Again, mountains, rivers, ice-free. All ice-free. Cities in places where there aren't cities today. But anyway, not my point. Here even showing the flowing water flowing out. It makes me sick to not talk about this map for the entire video. All the lands surrounding. Many clues here. Basically a much tighter gap between the oceans. Sticking Greenland in between here almost seems to be an effort to conceal land. And how about over here? Can I flip this? Yes. Here to the west of America, we see all kinds of cities out here for such an early time period. I mean, castle cities, charted rivers, and then we have this. Let's see if I can flip it again. So this is just in between Asia and America. We can see what would be Alaska up here called Onion. And up here on the other side, we have Amagog City, and then a Gonzu City over here. Whole bunch in this region, and these are called the Straits of Aniano. Of course, we have the Ainu people in
Aniano.
Japan, but again, the Straits of Aniano, I mean, we're dealing with totally different people. Look at this super city here. I've never seen such a depicted super city. This looks like it would be present-day Russia or China. Look at all of these islands. This would be like Starforted. Artificial islands, castle cities, and then we have Japon Island. Japon would be like Japan, full of castle cities. I mean, this is serious. And not only is it serious, but it's now gone. We don't have this giant island up here. I mean, maybe a little part of it remains, maybe like this part, and that would be Japan. But something has happened to this island, and we may be seeing what that is right here. Here we see the sun blasting particles in this direction. It says a couple islands here, the Lequeen Islands, these two large ones perhaps. And if this is some sort of clue, then we can accept it as such. I don't know. Missing island, sun blasting particles in this direction. It could be code, simply, for somebody else, meaning something else. But pretty fascinating. Let's take a pause. Okay, here is some website, antiquemaps.com. And these people just have all these super cool maps and just sell them for like $100, $200, just prints. But it's interesting what we can find in private hands. Terra de Yeso. Terra de Yeso. So this appears to be part of that Japanese island, basically. Let's see if I can just open this. Part du Japon, so we see Japan here, and then we see this Terra de Yeso, and some have proposed that this is Jesus. I don't know, clearly a people, and this is the missing island, and how interesting. The Ocean Oriental, we just get a little glimpse of it here. And here on Stolen History, I was noticing an article from May of this year, and he was proposing that the Bering Strait and the Onion Strait are not the same. And here we can see those Onion Straits, and this would be showing us the Alaskan region, and we can see castle cities in great detail here, charted out rivers, all different names. And even more on the other side here. And now we see it listed as Japan. And yet, is it Japan? It seems much larger. It's as if this disappeared and they renamed one of these smaller islands Japan. Down here we can see 7 islands. Castle City on this one. And to the north of Japan, you do have another island. On my map, on my wall, it says Hokkaido. Let me show you. So here we have Japan, and then we have this island up here, which will now be, I think, part of Japan. And in old lore that I discovered years ago, this was said to be an island of giants. And things seem a lot different here. Either this is totally off, which I think it is, really off, or the old map makers were off. Yet this doesn't make any sense. Too much water here. Like, this thing actually doesn't line up. Like, you see how ridiculous that is? Like, all water here? This is complete BS. Okay, we have Hawaii. And Hawaii would have to be huge. Like, complete distortion. This is a BS chunk right here. And actually, we have this area here that cuts across. It's the International Date Line. Sorry, this is something else I'm geeking out on. Forgive me. You can follow this line, though. This is really interesting. I've shown it in the past. But anyway, the International Fudge Line. Let me show you the International Date Line. So the International Wonderful Date Line. Here you go. This makes a lot of sense. And anyway, there's these islands right here, the Diomedes Islands or something. 2 islands right next to each other, visible with the naked eye, that close to each other. And there's a 4-hour time difference. 4 hours. If you were trying to hide a land, well, you're going to have to fudge the time too. And here, this stupid chunk here that's missing, these don't make any sense. There's no reason. Unless we're hiding land. And now you have a 4-hour difference between two islands right next to each other. And that's enough of a time jump to delete the island. I don't know if that's making sense. So imagine like this line cutting down and then doing that crazy jagged thing that we just saw here. I mean, this is a trick. This is a mindfuck. That's all. It's absolutely stupid. The difference in times. Why this one? This is something else to discuss. And in my opinion, these are done to facilitate the hiding of land. And this is a map from 1698. Here we also see Tartaria, of course. And we also see Turkestan, Astrakhan. Again, names of other displaced people. People other than Tartarians. And yet these probably would have been states of the nation of Tartaria. Castle cities. This map is from 1698, forgive me. And we see California as an island. I think the cartographer is Louis Hennepin. California as an island, you could see that a little bit of mud flooding, it wouldn't take much. Flowing down these rivers could now bridge the gap and reattach California to the mainland. But here again, to the direct west, we see this Terra de Yeso. And it actually seems as if it's connected. You can see it here. So we see the Japon, or Yepon, Terra de Yeso. And then we see California right here, even written California. And then up here in the top left corner, we see Tartary. So here you go, like connected.
Well, it's
Certainly
Alaska.
This is ridiculous. And you can do it yourself. You can actually spin, like, okay, let me try to spin it one full circle. No, it should have been there, but no, that was not. It's like there's two circles in one full circle. I digress. Here we can see the vibes of Cosmos map. Now this map will have been made from a projection of the moon. If you don't know, his map is based on the image of the moon is a mirror reflection of our realm. And it's pretty good. I mean, I've been studying it for years, and I do have some questions. I won't just say 100% yes, but it's absolutely fascinating. And what his map gives us is even more land. It shows us everything around us, and then it shows us this extra. That's the bonus that we would get with the moon. You all recognize this little navel on the moon. Always looks like the navel of an orange to me. But yeah, all this extra land, realms we know nothing about. And actually this kind of explains resets in a way. In his model, the luminaries, similar to the clock in Prague that they recently changed, well, the luminaries kind of move around, which would make all regions experience different weather as time passes, like inevitably. Very cold or very hot, this cyclical pattern. And here again on this other map, 1693, Cantelli Vignola of the Tartar Empire. Grand Tartaria, we see up here. See some people. Some babe. And what looks like a little pygmy with a mustache. Little mustached pygmy man. Some would say it's a child, but look at that mustache. That's a healthy mustache. This little pygmy man with a little handbag, like her little servant. Really lending to my idea. And if that was true and this was a full-size man, you can see how large these people would be. Even the babe. But anyway, we see the connection here with this Terra de Yeso, again, connecting to Yupai. It almost sounds like Native American. The Havasupai, the Utes, where I live. And here we see Isola, or Island de Nippon. So now it's Japan, but it's with an N, Nippon, and then turns into Japon. Even here we see Islands del Japon. So this area has been messed with heavily and may still exist out there. They may be working own this area and have just completely erased it from present day BS reality. And again, it doesn't make sense that there's half of the earth is water, if we were to believe that there's just this ball flying around. But anyway, ball or no ball, clearly manipulation when studying the maps of old compared to those of present. So that was awesome. I could keep going, and yet I think our time is up for the week. I thank you for joining me. I love you all. God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.
We are facing a complex situation, but we are united and determined to overcome these challenges together. And let me tell you, Raul BTC has been a game